China, a land where ancient wisdom meets breathtaking beauty. Spanning frozen plateaus to tropical coastlines, this vast country reveals a tapestry of landscapes and legends. Snow-capped peaks loom over lush valleys, while rivers carve paths through timeless forests, and cities pulse with vibrant energy. Within its borders, China is more than one story. It is a mosaic of cultures, languages, and beliefs, each adding vivid color to a rich national fabric. From the echoing steps along the Great Wall to the serenity of mountain temples, from the bustling markets to tranquil rice terraces, every corner offers a glimpse into the country's enduring spirit. Here, tradition thrives alongside innovation, and the past is etched in every stone. As we journey deeper, we discover remarkable people, astonishing wildlife, and unforgettable places, each revealing a piece of China's soul. This is a land where history lives, nature flourishes, and stories never truly end. As dawn breaks over the silent valleys of Zhejiang province, a gentle mist begins to rise, swirling like ancient breath over jagged, towering peaks. Sunlight pierces through the shroud, illuminating the sharp silhouettes of stone spires crowned with wind-bent pines. In this moment, the world is hushed. Time itself seems to pause in reverence. This is Yandang Mountain, a realm where myth and landscape entwine, and where every crag tells a story born of fire and transformed by millennia. Yandangshan's origins reach back more than 120 million years, to an age when the earth here trembled and seethed with volcanic fury. The ground split open, spewing molten rock and ash, sculpting the land in violence and heat. Over countless ages, the chaos cooled. Water and wind shaped the basalt into soaring columns, sheer cliffs, and deep, tranquil lakes. Today, these ancient scars have become a masterwork of both drama and tranquility, a harmony between Earth's untamed power and its quiet resilience, now held in the ghostly embrace of morning mist. At the mountain's heart stands Lingfeng Peak, a pair of stone sentinels rising side by side above the valleys. As dusk falls, the setting sun paints their faces with a fiery glow, transforming them into pillars of molten gold and crimson. Locals call these the Flaming Peaks, and for centuries they have been revered as sacred, where the spirit of Yandang is said to dwell, and where the boundary between heaven and earth blurs. Prayer flags flutter from rocky outcrops, bright splashes of color against stone and sky, carrying wishes and prayers on the mountain breeze. Throughout the centuries, Yandang's cliffs have offered sanctuary to those seeking wisdom and solitude. Monks and hermits, drawn by the mountain's seclusion and mystical aura, carved their temples directly into the living rock. Here, among fragrant incense and the soft glow of lantern light, generations have meditated and chanted, their voices echoing through narrow canyons and across still waters. The sound of bells drifting on the wind mingles with the roar of waterfalls and the whisper of pines, an ancient music that binds the spiritual and the natural into a single sacred whole. Below the Flaming Peaks lies Lingyan Rock, a massive cliff face that presides over one of Yandang's most spectacular sights, the Great Dragon Waterfall. Here, water tumbles from the heights in a single unbroken ribbon, plunging nearly 200 meters into the shadowy depths below. During the rains, the waterfall roars and thunders, shaking the very air. In the sunlight, it becomes a shimmering veil, delicate as silk, catching rainbows in its mist. Locals say that the water flows with the spirit of dragons, powerful, graceful, and eternal. Yandangshan is not merely a feast for the eyes, it is a living tapestry of life and wonder. Recognized as a UNESCO Global Geopark, the mountain shelters a remarkable diversity of plants and animals. Rare herbs, valued for centuries in traditional medicine, grow in hidden crevices. In springtime, wild azaleas burst into bloom across the cliffs, their vivid pinks, reds and whites transforming the stony slopes into rivers of color. Birds of every hue dart through the trees, and bees hover over high-altitude flowers, busy with the work of pollination. In every corner, life flourishes, adapted to the unique rhythms of this ancient land. Through the ages, Yandang's beauty and mystery have inspired poets, painters, and storytellers. Ancient verses describe the mountain's shifting mists and glowing peaks, capturing its magic in ink and brush. Even now, traditions endure. At night, paper lanterns float along the trails, their gentle glow guiding travelers and illuminating stories told by elders in the flickering light. Dressed in traditional costumes, locals share legends of mountain gods and guardian spirits, tales in which the rocks themselves come alive, shaped by love, loss, and the eternal dance of nature. Yet despite its deep cultural legacy, Yandang remains a place of quiet awe, a hidden gem, far from the bustling crowds that filled China's more famous landmarks. Here, every cliff is a sculpture hewn by time, every winding path a poem written in stone and moss. The air is filled not with the noise of the world, but with a profound, almost sacred silence. To walk these trails at sunrise, clouds swirling below your feet, is to experience a sense of discovery, a journey not just through space, but through history, and perhaps even through the soul. For those who come seeking more than just scenery, Yandang offers something rare, a chance to listen to the Earth's oldest stories. These are not tales shouted in thunder or carved in bold relief, but whispered in the sigh of wind, through pine needles, in the cool touch of water on stone, and in the shifting patterns of mist at dawn. The mountain teaches patience, humility, and wonder, a reminder that the world is shaped by forces both fierce and gentle, and that beauty is often found in places where the eye lingers, quietly and without expectation. As the day draws to a close, the sun sets behind the distant peaks, casting Yandang Mountain in soft, golden light. Shadows lengthen, the mist returns, and the cliffs seem to breathe once more. The mountain range fades slowly into the clouds, becoming part of the sky and the dreams of those who have walked its paths. In this tranquil twilight, the story of Yandang continues, older than memory, deeper than legend, and forever written in the living stone. In Yandang Mountain, the earth speaks in a language without words. It calls not for attention, but for respect, a gentle invitation to pause, to listen, and to remember that, for all our journeys, we are only visitors in a world far grander and more mysterious than we can ever fully know. At first light, a gentle mist unfurls across an expanse of mirrored water, shifting and shivering in the hush before dawn. The world here seems suspended, cradled in a tranquil breath that lingers between night and day. This is QIANDAO Lake, hidden deep within the rolling hills of ZHUGE province in eastern China. A place of shimmering stillness, of emerald islands adrift in a silvery sea. Here, 1,000 green jewels rise quietly from the surface, each crowned with tangled forest and crowned by morning dew. It is a kingdom shaped by water and time, an enchanting realm little known beyond its borders, where the land and the lake seem to dream together beneath the sky. Yet this tranquil vista was not always so. QIANDAO Lake, whose name means the Lake of 1,000 Islands, was born not from centuries of patient geology, but from a single act of human ingenuity. In the year 1959, the valley that once cradled villages, rice fields, and bustling towns was surrendered to the rising water, its rivers harnessed, its heart submerged, to power a new hydroelectric dam. As the waters rose, stones and stories alike slipped beneath the surface. Beneath this glassy expanse, a secret world slumbers, a city lost, yet never forgotten. Beneath 40 meters of water, the ancient lion city, ZHUGE, lies perfectly preserved in eerie silence. Its stone arches and tiled rooftops, its forgotten streets and proud city gates rest untouched by the hand of time. Once a flourishing hub of trade and culture, ZHUGE now lingers in perpetual twilight. In these depths, the past is not erased but protected, shielded from wind and rain, held gently in the cool embrace of the lake. Sculpted lions keep silent watch over vanished courtyards. Dragons carved in stone drift in the shadows, their forms softened by swaying algae. It is a realm suspended between memory and myth, a time capsule untouched by centuries of change. Above the waterline, the transformation is equally profound. More than 1,000 islands, formed from the summits of once mighty hills, now rise like scattered coins in a jade sea. Some are no larger than a single mossy boulder, barely breaking the surface. Others sprawl wide, blanketed in ancient forests, and ringed by rocky coves. Each island is a world unto itself, shaped by wind, rain, and the patient hand of nature. Here, the wild thrives in splendid isolation. Across these green isles, life flourishes in forms both dazzling and rare. The golden pheasant, its feathers ablaze with crimson and gold, glides through the undergrowth, a flash of color amid the shadows. Civet cats, shy and elusive, slink silently from thicket to thicket, their eyes gleaming in the filtered light. In the shallows, schools of freshwater fish, species extinct in other waters, dart and flicker, safe in the lake's crystalline depths. The islands, each separated by a moat of tranquil water, have become sanctuaries, sheltering species that elsewhere have vanished or retreated. The lake's isolation has preserved not just wildlife, but a way of life as well. Along its sinuous shoreline, communities have learned to live in delicate balance with the changing tides. At dawn, fishermen rise with the mist, their wooden boats gliding silently between the islands. Nets are cast in slow, practiced arcs, skills passed down through generations, shaped by patience and respect for the water's gifts. Life here is guided by the lake's rhythms. The rise and fall of the water, the passage of clouds and seasons, the quiet dance of fish below the surface. It is a life of humility and harmony, of small miracles witnessed with each sunrise. But still, the greatest secret lies hidden beneath the gentle ripples. For those who dare to slip beneath the surface, the submerged city reveals itself, a ghostly world preserved in the dark and the cold. Divers drift through stone archways, their lights tracing the outlines of forgotten temples and carved dragons. In the stillness, history endures, not in ruins, but in silence. Each pillar, each courtyard, each faded inscription speaks of dynasties long past, of emperors and poets, of traders and farmers, all held fast by the deep. QIANDAO Lake is a rare harmony, a meeting of nature's resilience and humanity's restless ambition. It is a place where the past and present intertwine, where the echo of ancient footsteps lingers beneath the hush of new leaves. On the surface, water and sky embrace in endless reflection. Below, the lion city waits, its secrets safe in the cool blue dark. As the sun lifts higher, the mist dissolves, and the islands emerge, bright and distinct against the morning. Birds wheel and call above, their wings casting fleeting shadows on the water. Deer graze at the edge of the forest, pausing to drink from hidden springs. The lake, ever patient, ever watchful, holds all these stories in its depths. Here, every droplet glimmers with possibility. Every shadow hints at a secret. Every ripple carries the echo of a forgotten age. In this lake of 1,000 islands, memory and nature are intertwined, each as vital as the other, each lending beauty and meaning to the world above and below. QIANDAO is more than a reservoir, more than a marvel of engineering or a haven for wildlife. It is a living testament to change, how loss can give rise to wonder, how the past can endure in unexpected ways. It reminds us that beneath the most placid surface, whole worlds may sleep, waiting for the light. As dusk falls and the water is touched with gold, a hush returns to QIANDAO Lake. The islands darken, their outlines softened by the coming night. Somewhere beneath the waves, the Lion City dreams on, cradled by the lake, watched over by the stars. Here, in the heart of China, the hidden kingdom endures, a place where every morning brings a new beginning, and every sunset a gentle farewell, where every breath of wind, every whisper of water tells the enduring story of QIANDAO Lake, the kingdom beneath the water, forever serene, forever mysterious. Off China's southeastern coast, where the restless East China Sea meets the sky, a low green island rises from the waves, not for its height, but for its spirit. This place is revered above many others. This is Mount PUTUO, a mountain island enshrined in legend, serenity, and centuries-old devotion. Here, water, land, and air merge in a quiet symphony of prayer and pilgrimage, a floating world that has called seekers to its shores for over 1,000 years. The story of Mount PUTUO begins in the mists of antiquity. It is said that long ago, a devout monk journeyed across seas to bring a sacred statue to this island. As the statue touched the earth, a hush fell over the land. The mountain, once just another island, seemed to awaken. From that moment, Mount PUTUO was transformed, chosen as the earthly abode of Guanyin, the bodhisattva of compassion. In Buddhist tradition, Guanyin is the goddess who listens to the world's suffering, offering solace and hope. Across generations, this mountain has become her sanctuary, a place where prayers ascend with the morning mist and devotion lingers in every stone and tree. Pilgrims have long traveled great distances to reach these sacred shores. Ancient maritime routes carried monks and lay people alike from as far as Korea and Japan. Sailing across sometimes turbulent seas, they arrived not by road, but by faith, yearning for a glimpse of the divine or a moment's peace. Even today, ferries trace these old paths, carrying modern seekers to the same ancient soil. Each arrival is a quiet act of devotion, every footstep a prayer. Rising gently from the waves, Mount PUTUO is crowned by more than 30 temples. The most revered among them is Puji Temple, its golden roofs gleaming in the sun, its halls echoing with the soft murmur of prayer. Founded in the 10th century, Puji Temple is the spiritual heart of the island. Here, monks in saffron robes glide across courtyards, sandalwood smoke drifts skyward, and the sound of chanting weaves through the air like a living thread of faith. In its shadow, smaller temples and shrines nestle among bamboo groves and rocky outcrops, each with its own history and blessings. But Mount Putuo's sacredness is not confined to its temples alone. The island itself is a natural sanctuary, a temple built not by hands, but by wind, water, and time. Steep granite cliffs plunge into the sea, their bases battered by eternal waves. Ancient pines, sculpted by centuries of salt air and storm, twist and reach toward the sky. Winding footpaths, dappled in jade light, invite pilgrims and visitors alike to lose themselves in silence and reflection. The cry of seabirds, the whisper of bamboo, the rhythmic pulse of waves. Here, nature and spirit are one. Legends drift through the island like sea fog. They tell of Guanyin appearing in the mist, offering comfort to the shipwrecked and solace to the sorrowful. They speak of monks who walked barefoot for years, crossing mountains and rivers to reach this holy place. Some stories are written in ancient scrolls, others whispered by temple elders. All are woven into the fabric of Putuo, a tapestry of faith, hope, and the search for meaning. Every year, Mount Putuo becomes a living river of devotion. During temple festivals, tens of thousands arrive, old and young, rich and poor, from every corner of the land. Some come for blessings, others for healing, and many in gratitude for prayers already answered. Candles flicker in the pre-dawn darkness, lanterns sway in the evening breeze, and the air hums with the sound of chanting. Yet even in the busiest moments, a profound peace endures. It is the peace of centuries, nurtured by countless pilgrims, preserved in every stone step and temple bell. Yet, Mount Putuo is not merely a relic of the past. In the rush of the modern world, it remains a place apart, a haven of patience, silence, and compassion. Here, ancient rituals continue alongside the rhythms of contemporary life. Children offer incense beside their grandparents. Monks study sutras on smartphones, and elders meditate as they have for generations. The mountain endures as a gentle reminder that amidst all change, the human heart still longs for peace and connection. As the sun sets behind the great statue of Guanyin, her serene face bathed in golden light, it is easy to understand why this place has inspired awe for so long. The sea glows with the colors of dusk, temple roofs shimmer in the fading sun, and the world seems to pause for a moment of reflection. In that stillness, the island's true gift is revealed. Mount Putuo is not the tallest mountain, nor the most remote, but to those who seek peace, it stands higher than most, a beacon of compassion, a sanctuary for the weary, and a bridge between the earthly and the divine. Surrounded by rolling tides, shaped by wind and time, sanctified by uncounted prayers, Mount Putuo remains a living testament to the enduring power of belief. It is a place where the sacred and the natural are inseparable, where every stone and wave tells a story. For some, it is the home of a goddess. For others, it is a place of transformation and hope. For all, it is a reminder that in the quiet spaces of the world, the spirit can find its way home. In the end, the island is more than a destination. It is a journey, across sea and sky, through legend and history, into the heart of what it means to be human. Mount Putuo waits, timeless and tranquil, offering sanctuary to all who seek it. In the eastern folds of China's Zhejiang province, where ancient forests give way to mountain ridges and the hush of dawn lingers in the air, there exists a voice, one not fashioned from words, but from the ceaseless song of water. Here, far from the din of city life, the world softens. Mist curls through bamboo groves, and temple bells sometimes dissolve into birdsong. It is here, where the earth seems to inhale and exhale in slow, patient rhythm, that BAIZHANG waterfall reveals itself, emerging from the cliffside like a silver ribbon, woven by time and the restless hands of weather. BAIZHANG waterfall, its very name, meaning 100 jang tall, recalls an ancient measure, one so old it echoes from the depths of forgotten dynasties. For centuries, travelers and pilgrims have journeyed through these mist-laden valleys, drawn not by the promise of gold, but by legend. They speak of a solitary monk, wandering up the rugged path in search of enlightenment. With each step, the world grew quieter. Only the whispers of wind, the soft crackle of bamboo, and the distant thunder of water accompanied him. At the summit, the silence was broken. A sudden, breathtaking rush, as if heaven itself had chosen this place to descend, shattering stillness with the echo of falling water. In that moment, the monk found not answers, but awe. BAIZHANG is not merely a waterfall. At over 200 meters, it is a living sculpture, carved by eons, fed by the breath of clouds, and shaped by the patient pulse of the earth. Every droplet that plunges from its crest begins as a droplet of mist, birthed in the high, hidden reaches of the mountain. They gather, tumbling together, until gravity claims them, and their journey begins anew, dancing, leaping, and finally surrendering to the plunge. In their descent, they write poetry into stone, carving grooves and hollows, inscribing the story of mountain and water in every line. Surrounding the falls is a secret world, a sanctuary painted in the deepest greens and veiled in perpetual mist. Bamboo groves stand sentinel, their slender trunks trembling with each passing breeze. Sunlight filters through the canopy, dappling the mossy ground and illuminating delicate wild orchids that bloom unseen, their petals jeweled with dew. Here, the air is thick with the scent of earth and rain. Songbirds call out, notes rising and falling, echoing like prayers cast into the wind. On the rocks, dragonflies hover, their wings catching the spray in flashes of iridescence. This is a place where few dare raise their voices. The land itself listens, and so too does the water. BAIZHANG is a place of seasons, each bringing its own transformation. In spring, the waterfall flows like silk, smooth, elegant, serene. The air is cool, and tender shoots of green unfurl along the banks. The water's song is gentle, like the murmur of a lullaby. But with the arrival of summer, the monsoons awaken. Rain swells the streams, and the falls thunder down the rock face with the fury of 1,000 storms. Trees bend in the wind, rain lashes the leaves, and the roar of water drowns all other sounds. By autumn, the tumult subsides. The falls mellow, their power softened by the wisdom of age. The cascade becomes a gentle elder, still speaking, but with a softer voice. Winter brings another quiet. Ice might trace the edges of stone, and the forest retreats into itself, waiting for the promise of spring. For centuries, monks and poets have walked these winding paths, not to conquer the mountain, but to understand it. They come with offerings of silence and wonder, seeking not to take, but to learn. Some sit in meditation on stone ledges, their robes fluttering in the breeze, eyes closed to the world, but open to the sound of falling water. Others bring parchment and ink, scribbling verses inspired by the cascade, lines cast into the spray where they are carried away and lost perhaps, but never wasted. Even children, wide-eyed and laughing, reach out to touch the mist, feeling the waterfall's breath on their skin, sensing for a moment the power and peace that reside here. What then does BAIZHANG offer to those who listen? It gives no gold, no riches, no promise of fame. Instead, it offers a lesson as old as the stones themselves. Let go, fall with grace. In the endless cycle of water rising, gathering, falling, and returning, there is a reminder that strength is found in surrender, that beauty is born in the letting go. The waterfall asks for no audience, yet it inspires all who come. Its presence is a kind of conversation, one that unfolds in water, stone, and silence. In our modern world, driven as it is by noise and haste, a place like BAIZHANG is a rare and precious gift. It reminds us of the quiet power found in nature's rhythms, the way water shapes stone, the way silence can hold 1,000 meanings, the way the earth endures. As the drone rises, pulling away from the falls, the silver ribbon shrinks into mist and cloud, the sound of water fading into memory. Yet the lesson lingers. The most powerful voices, it seems, do not shout. They speak in the language of water, in the patience of stone, and in the hush between wind and rain. BAIZHANG Waterfall, where heaven descends in water, remains a sacred place, a silent lesson, a story told in every drop. For in the end, it is not the roar of the falls that endures, but the quiet awe left behind in the hearts of those who listen. Hidden among the emerald folds of Zhejiang's rolling hills, a secret whispers through the morning mist. This is a place where time gathers softly, where ancient stones remember the footsteps of sages, and the air itself hums with ancestral wisdom. Here, veiled by centuries yet open to the patient eye, lies ZHUGE BAGUA village, a settlement unlike any other, shaped not merely by the hands of builders, but by the arc of the cosmos itself. At first, ZHUGE-kun appears as many villages do. Narrow cobblestone paths wind gently between grey-tiled rooftops, their eaves that curling upwards like the wings of resting cranes. In the early light, the village wakes in golden hush, smoke rising from kitchen hearths, children's laughter echoing across courtyards, elders sweeping dust from the thresholds of ancestral halls. Yet step back, rise above these winding lanes, and a revelation unfolds. From the sky, the village reveals its secret, an ancient symbol, vast as the land itself, traced in roads and waterways. It is the Bagua, the Taoist diagram of 8 trigrams circling a sacred heart. This is no accident of time or chance. ZHUGE Bagua is a village born of intention, a physical embodiment of philosophy, a blueprint drawn from the heavens. Its story begins with a name written in the annals of Chinese legend, Zhuge Liang, the sleeping dragon, master strategist of the Three Kingdoms era. His wisdom, fabled in tales and immortalized in ink, would echo across generations. Nearly 1,000 years after his passing in the Song dynasty, his descendant, Zhuge Dashi, sought to honor his illustrious ancestor. Drawing inspiration from the Bagua, the map of balance and cosmic order, he designed a village that was more than a home. It would be a living mandala, where every alley, every courtyard, every stone reflected the shape of the universe. To walk ZHUGE-kun is to wander through a riddle set in stone. 8 lanes spiral out from the village's heart, each corresponding to one of the 8 trigrams: heaven, earth, thunder, wind, water, fire, mountain, and lake. These pathways curve and flow, never in straight lines, guiding the visitor through a labyrinth that is both perplexing and purposeful. The design is not for ease, but for alignment, a geometry shaped by the principles of yin and yang, of balance and flow. Overhead, the pattern is unmistakable, a cosmic compass etched into the land. Yet ZHUGE is not a museum, nor a relic locked away behind glass. It is alive, its philosophy woven into the fabric of daily life. Over 2,000 villagers still call the Bagua home, their roots entwined with those of their ancestors. Within weathered courtyards, elders practice the art of calligraphy, brushstrokes dancing like water over paper, ink heavy with meaning. Children chase chickens down winding lanes, their laughter mingling with the distant toll of temple bells. In the hush of morning and the hush of dusk, incense curls from family altars, drifting through the air like the prayers of generations. Tradition breathes quietly, persistently here. The Bagua's design is not simply symbolic, it is practical, a silent guardian of harmony. Waterways thread through the village, their courses laid with careful intent. They do not run straight, but meander gently, channeling energy and purifying the spirit as they flow. Stone bridges arch over these streams, their shapes dictated by the ancient art of feng shui. They are more than structures, they are guides for good fortune, their curves inviting prosperity, their placement warding off misfortune. Moss creeps over old walls, where calligraphy spells out blessings in elegant lines, and stone steps bear the gentle wear of centuries of passage. Every element of ZHUGE is a story, told not in words, but in form and flow. The arrangement of houses, the direction of doorways, the very stones beneath one's feet, all are chosen with care, each gesture an offering to harmony. The village is a living manuscript, its pages written in geometry, its wisdom whispered in every detail. Here, time does not hurry. Instead, it circles gently, as if following the path of the Bagua itself. As the world beyond grows ever louder and more restless, ZHUGE Bagua village remains in quiet dialogue with the cosmos. It is not a place frozen in the past, but one attuned to the deeper rhythms of existence. At dawn, and the mist drifts low over the rooftops, and roosters call the village to waking. Families gather to honor their ancestors, lighting incense in the soft light, each act a continuation of centuries-old ritual. The day unfolds in patient harmony. Farmers tend to tea bushes on the hillsides, artisans craft wood and clay in workshops bathed in shadow and sun. Life here is measured, intentional. Each step mindful of the balance between earth and sky, tradition and change. Within ZHUGE, every doorway opens toward purpose, every footstep echoes with the wisdom of ages. The village is a compass, not only for the land, but for the spirit, guiding its people to live in accordance with nature, with one another, and with the unseen currents of fortune. It is a rare place, where the fabric of daily life is woven with philosophy, where the past lives on, not as memory, but as present reality. In an age when cities reach ever skyward, chasing progress in glass and steel, it is easy to forget that once we built not merely to rise, but to align, to find our place within the great design of the universe. In ZHUGE Bagua village, that memory endures. Here, the wisdom of the ancients is etched into the earth, watched over by the stars, and carried forward in the hearts of those who call it home. ZHUGE Bagua is a sacred circle, a cosmic design rendered in wood, water, and stone. It is a living testament to harmony, a reminder that even as the world rushes forward, there are still places where we can return to balance and walk in tune with the quiet, eternal music of the spheres.